Introduction: the silent thief of strength. I used to carry my grandson on one hip. Mary is 68. She used to walk 3 miles every morning without breaking a sweat. Now, she struggles to carry her groceries from the car to the kitchen. It just crept up on me, she says. One day I could stand up from my chair easily. The next, my legs felt like jelly. She isn't alone. Millions of seniors across America are quietly losing something they never expected to lose: their strength. It doesn't happen overnight. There's no dramatic fall, no sudden injury. Just small moments where their body lets them down. Climbing stairs becomes harder, lifting a bag of dog food feels impossible, or simply standing up from the couch takes effort. This slow, silent loss of muscle mass has a name: sarcopenia. And here's what most people don't realize: it doesn't have to happen. You see, sarcopenia isn't an inevitable part of aging. Yes, our bodies change as we grow older, but the real reason many seniors feel weaker today isn't just time catching up with them. It's often something much more subtle, something they do every single day without even knowing it. A small habit, a routine choice, a daily decision that slowly, silently eats away at their strength. Maybe it's skipping breakfast because they're not hungry in the morning. Maybe it's sitting too long after lunch while watching TV. Or maybe it's drinking diet soda thinking it's healthier than regular soda, never realizing how it affects their muscles. These aren't big mistakes. They're tiny ones. But over months and years, these habits add up. And before seniors know it, they've lost more than just a little muscle. They've lost independence. The good news? These habits can be changed. In this article, we're going to uncover the 10 most common, everyday habits that silently destroy muscle strength in seniors. Some may surprise you. Others might feel familiar. But all of them matter. More importantly, we'll show you how to replace those habits with simple, powerful changes that can help you, or your loved one, regain strength, rebuild muscle, and live with energy instead of weakness. Because growing older shouldn't mean giving up your freedom. Your muscles are still listening. Your body still wants to heal. All it needs is the right support and the right choices. Habit: eating refined sugar every day. I used to have so much energy. Evelyn is 72, and for most of her life, she was the kind of woman who could outlast anyone at a family gathering. She cooked big holiday meals, danced with her grandkids, and even walked 5 miles a day well into her 60s. But something changed a few years ago. I started feeling tired all the time, she told me one afternoon while sipping tea in her sunlit kitchen. At first, I thought it was just getting older. But then my legs felt weak when I stood up. I couldn't carry the laundry basket without my arms shaking. She didn't understand why. She wasn't eating junk food. She avoided fried foods. She watched her cholesterol. But there was one thing she never questioned: her morning ritual. Every day, like clockwork, Evelyn had a bowl of sweetened cereal with milk and a glass of orange juice. Sometimes she'd add a muffin or a small cookie. Nothing extreme, nothing that screamed unhealthy. Just the kind of breakfast many seniors eat thinking they're doing everything right. But what Evelyn didn't know was that every spoonful of that sugary cereal, every sip of juice, was quietly working against her body. You see, refined sugar doesn't just make you gain weight or raise your blood sugar, it also breaks down your muscles from the inside out. And Evelyn's story? It's not unique. Millions of seniors are unknowingly sabotaging their strength by consuming refined sugar every single day, thinking they're making healthy choices. Let's talk about how this happens, and more importantly, how you can stop it. The hidden enemy in your pantry. When we hear the word sugar, most of us think of candy bars, cupcakes, or soda pop. And yes, those are obvious sources. But the real danger lies in the hidden sugars lurking in everyday foods many seniors reach for thinking they're making smart, healthy choices. Take Evelyn's breakfast, for example. Sweetened cereal. 1 cup can contain up to 12 grams, 3 teaspoons, of added sugar. Orange juice. Even 100% pure juice contains concentrated natural sugars with no fiber to slow absorption. Low-fat flavored yogurt, often loaded with more sugar than ice cream. Granola bars, marketed as health snacks, but often packed with syrup, honey, and cane sugar. These aren't indulgences, they're daily habits. And over time, they create a perfect storm for muscle loss. How sugar destroys muscle. Here's the science behind the silent sabotage. 1. Sugar triggers chronic inflammation. Your body needs a little inflammation to heal injuries and fight infections. But too much becomes dangerous. And refined sugar is one of the biggest triggers of chronic, low-level inflammation. When you eat sugary foods, your blood sugar spikes. Your body releases insulin to bring it back down. But when this happens repeatedly, day after day, your body starts sending out inflammatory signals that never fully shut off. This constant state of inflammation interferes with your muscles' ability to repair themselves. Think of it like trying to fix a car while someone keeps pulling wires out. You're working against yourself. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that excess sugar intake significantly reduces muscle protein synthesis, the process your body uses to build and rebuild muscle tissue. So even if you walk, stretch, or do light exercises, your muscles aren't recovering properly because sugar is blocking the healing process. 2. Oxidative stress, the internal rusting process. Refined sugar also increases something called oxidative stress, a harmful process where unstable molecules called free radicals damage your cells. Imagine your muscles slowly rusting from the inside out. That's oxidative stress in action. Over time, this leads to faster muscle fatigue, slower recovery after movement, weaker muscle fibers, increased risk of falls and injuries. And the worst part? You might not even feel it happening until it's already affecting your balance and strength. 3. Insulin resistance weakens muscle growth. Too much sugar makes your body less sensitive to insulin, the hormone that helps control blood sugar levels. When this happens, your muscles become starved of energy because insulin isn't delivering nutrients properly. Without proper fuel, your muscles start shrinking. This is especially dangerous for seniors. As we age, our bodies naturally lose muscle mass. Insulin resistance speeds this process up dramatically. Real stories, real warnings. Let's meet another senior, Tom, age 68, who used to play tennis twice a week. He ate clean, no fast food, no desserts. But he loved his morning coffee with 2 sugars, his mid-morning fruit smoothie with honey, and his afternoon snack of low-fat granola with yogurt. One day, he went to pick up his grandson and realized he couldn't lift him anymore. I tried again and again, but my arms just shook, Tom said. It scared me. I knew something was wrong. After a visit to his doctor, he learned he was showing early signs of sarcopenia. He was shocked. How could I be losing muscle? He asked. I eat healthy. What Tom didn't realize was that his healthy diet was actually feeding muscle loss. Habit, not drinking enough water. I thought I was fine. Frank is 74 and used to be the kind of man who never sat still. He built his own deck in his 60s, walked 2 miles every morning, and even played a few rounds of golf with friends on weekends. But lately, he's been feeling off. I didn't think much of it at first, he told me while sitting in his backyard under a shade tree. I'd get up from my chair and feel like my legs were made of jelly. Sometimes when I stood too fast, I'd get dizzy. And after walking just a block or 2, my calves would cramp up. He wasn't sure what was happening. He wasn't sick. He wasn't injured. He just felt weaker, like something inside him was slipping away. It wasn't until his daughter gently suggested he might not be drinking enough water that he realized how little he actually consumed each day. I drank coffee in the morning, had tea with lunch, and sometimes a soda if I was out, he said. But actual water? Maybe 1 glass a day, if that. What Frank didn't know was that every time he skipped a drink of water, his muscles were quietly suffering. Because here's a truth many seniors don't realize. Your muscles are made mostly of water. And without enough hydration, they start to break down, slowly, silently, and often without pain. The silent crisis of dehydration in seniors. You've probably heard about dehydration before. It's something we worry about in the summer or when someone gets sick. But for older adults, dehydration is more than just an occasional problem. It can become a daily habit. As we age, our bodies change. We lose some of our natural thirst signal. That means we don't always feel thirsty, even when we're already dehydrated. Combine that with medications that cause fluid loss, cooler body temperatures, and less efficient kidney function, and you have a perfect storm for chronic dehydration. And the worst part? Most seniors don't even know it's happening until their muscles start failing them. How water keeps your muscles strong. Let's take a closer look at what happens inside your body when you don't drink enough water. Droplet 1. Water makes up 75% of muscle tissue. Yes, your muscles are mostly water. When you're well hydrated, your muscle cells are plump, flexible, and ready to work. But when you don't drink enough, those cells begin to dry out. They shrink. They stiffen. They become prone to cramps, strains, and fatigue. Think of it like this. A hydrated muscle is like a fresh apple, firm, juicy, full of life. A dehydrated muscle is like an old raisin, dry, shriveled, and weak. Without enough water, your muscles simply can't perform at their best. High voltage 2. Hydration fuels nutrient delivery. Water isn't just about keeping your muscles moist, it's also your body's delivery system. Every nutrient you eat, protein, vitamins, minerals, needs water to travel through your bloodstream and reach your muscles. If you're dehydrated, that delivery slows way down. Imagine trying to build a house with no trucks bringing in supplies. That's what happens to your muscles when you don't drink enough water. They're waiting for fuel, but it never arrives. Over time, this leads to slower recovery, weaker contractions, and increased risk of injury. Counterclockwise arrows button 3. Water helps flush out waste products. Your muscles produce waste products every time you move. Lactic acid builds up, toxins accumulate, and without enough water, your body can't flush them out efficiently. This creates a cycle. Dehydration, toxin buildup, muscle soreness, less movement, further dehydration. And soon, you're caught in a loop where your muscles hurt more, you move less, and you feel weaker every day. Brain 4. Dehydration impairs balance and coordination. Here's something most people don't consider. Dehydration affects your brain as much as your muscles. Even mild dehydration, just 1 to 2%, can impair cognitive function, balance, and coordination. For seniors, this increases the risk of falls, a leading cause of injury and hospitalization. One study published in Age and Aging found that older adults who were even slightly dehydrated performed worse on balance tests and reaction time assessments than those who were properly hydrated. In short, staying hydrated isn't just about avoiding a headache. It's about staying upright, alert, and strong. Real stories. When thirst turned into weakness. Frank wasn't alone. Take Martha, age 68, who started noticing she couldn't lift her arms above her head without pain. She thought it was arthritis. But when her doctor checked her hydration levels, he discovered she was walking around in a state of mild dehydration every day. After increasing her water intake, her joint pain eased within a week. Or Carlos, age 71, who struggled with leg cramps so bad they kept him up at night. He tried magnesium supplements, stretching routines, even warm baths, but nothing helped until he started drinking more water. Once I made myself drink at least 6 glasses a day, Carlos said. The cramps stopped almost overnight. These aren't miracles. They're simple, powerful reminders that sometimes the solution to weakness isn't complicated medical treatments or expensive therapies. It's something as basic as a glass of water. Why many seniors don't drink enough water? If water is so important, why do so many seniors skip it? There are several common reasons. Crossmark misconception. I'm not thirsty, so I must be fine. As mentioned earlier, aging reduces the body's ability to sense thirst. By the time you feel thirsty, you may already be dehydrated. Crossmark fear of frequent bathroom trips. Some seniors limit fluids because they worry about having to go to the bathroom often, especially at night. But here's the truth. Mild dehydration causes more frequent urination, not less. When your body doesn't have enough water, it tries to conserve what it has by pulling water from your muscles and tissues. This makes your urine more concentrated and more irritating to your bladder. Staying hydrated helps regulate your urinary system, not harm it. Crossmark confusion between beverages. Many seniors believe that drinks like coffee, tea, juice, and soda count toward hydration. They don't. Caffeinated and sugary drinks act as diuretics, meaning they make your body lose more water than it takes in. So while you may feel like you're drinking plenty, your muscles could still be drying out. Signs you might be dehydrated. Here are some subtle signs that your body is crying out for more water. Dry mouth or cracked lips. Dark yellow urine. Fatigue or low energy. Dizziness or lightheadedness. Headaches. Muscle cramps or stiffness. Constipation. Trouble concentrating. Feeling cold even in warm weather. If any of these sound familiar, it might be time to rehydrate. How much water do you really need? There's no one-size-fits-all answer, but a good starting point for most seniors is 6 to 8 glasses of clean water per day. That's about 1.5 to 2 liters, or roughly half a gallon. Of course, individual needs vary based on climate. You need more water in hot weather. Activity level. Exercise increases fluid needs. Medications, some increase fluid loss. Overall health. A simple rule of thumb. If your urine is pale yellow or clear, you're likely well hydrated. If it's dark yellow or amber colored, you need more water. Habit: avoiding strength exercises. I thought I was too old to lift anything. When Carol turned 70, she started noticing little things. Things she used to do without thinking now felt harder. She had trouble lifting her suitcase into the overhead bin when traveling. She needed help getting up from the couch after a movie. Even carrying her 2 grocery bags from the car to the kitchen left her arms trembling. I thought this was just what happens when you get older, she told me over coffee one morning. You slow down. You lose strength. You rely on others more. But then, her granddaughter surprised her with something unexpected for her birthday: a set of light resistance bands and an invitation to join a senior strength class at the local community center. Carol laughed at first. I haven't lifted anything heavier than a soup can in years, she said. But curiosity got the better of her. And so, with some hesitation, she showed up. 3 weeks later, Carol stood up from a chair unassisted for the first time in months. I didn't realize how much I'd lost until I started gaining it back, she said. It wasn't dramatic. It wasn't fast. But every week, I could feel my body waking up again. Carol's story isn't unique. In fact, it's shared by millions of seniors across America who mistakenly believe that strength training is only for the young, or worse, that they're too old, too weak, or too fragile to start. The truth? You're never too old to rebuild strength. And for seniors, strength training isn't just about looking good or feeling strong. It's about staying independent, preventing falls, and protecting your quality of life. Why strength training is not optional after 60. Let's talk science for a moment, because the numbers don't lie. After the age of 30, we naturally begin to lose muscle mass at a rate of about 3 to 5% per decade. That may not sound like much, but by the time you hit 70, if nothing is done, you could have lost as much as 30 to 40% of your original muscle mass. That loss doesn't just affect how you look, it affects how you live. Without enough muscle, simple tasks become difficult. Carrying groceries, getting out of a chair, walking upstairs, holding a grandchild, opening jars, reaching for items on high shelves. Muscle loss also increases your risk of falls and fractures, poor balance and coordination, slower recovery from illness or surgery, chronic fatigue and weakness, loss of independence. In short, muscle isn't just about strength. It's about survival, the myth that keeps seniors weak. Despite all this, many seniors still avoid strength training altogether. Why? Because of myths like, I'm too old, I'll hurt myself. Strength training is only for fit people. I've never done it before, so why start now? I walk every day. I don't need anything else. These beliefs are deeply ingrained, but they're also deeply wrong. You don't need to lift heavy weights or go to a gym to benefit from strength training. All you need is gentle resistance, something that challenges your muscles just enough to tell them you're still needed. Even small efforts make a difference. Standing up and sitting down from a chair without using your hands, lifting water bottles, using elastic resistance bands, doing wall push-ups, practicing balance exercises. Each of these movements sends a powerful message to your body. Keep building, keep strengthening, keep going. Real science behind senior strength gains. Let's take a closer look at what happens inside your body when you introduce strength training, even late in life. Flexed biceps muscle protein synthesis gets a second wind. Your muscles are constantly breaking down and rebuilding. This process is called muscle protein synthesis, and it's how your body maintains and strengthens muscle tissue. As we age, this process slows down. But studies show that even modest strength training can kick it back into gear. A study published in the Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research found that seniors who engaged in just 2 30-minute strength sessions per week saw significant improvements in muscle mass, balance, and functional mobility within just a few months. That's right, just 2 short sessions a week were enough to reverse years of decline. Brain neural pathways wake up again. Another surprising benefit of strength training is its effect on your brain. When you perform resistance exercises, your brain and muscles re-establish communication pathways that may have gone dormant over time. This means better coordination, improved reflexes, and faster reaction times, all of which reduce the risk of falls and injuries. Think of it like rebooting a computer that's been idle for too long. The hardware is still there. It just needs a little stimulation to come back online. Repeat button hormonal response supports growth. Strength training also triggers the release of key hormones like testosterone, growth hormone, and IGF. 1. All of which play vital roles in muscle repair and growth. While hormone levels naturally decline with age, regular strength activity helps maintain their production and effectiveness. In other words, strength training doesn't just build muscle, it keeps your entire body younger.